Thought this evening or this afternoon or whatever time it is where you are is the perfect time to dive into this moment. Um, it seems to be that what wants to happen in this hour is just to let go and sink deeper into this moment. So unless anybody has any burning questions, um, if you do, I'd like to invite you to raise your hand now. I was just thinking of just spending some time being here with this moment, all of us together, and just seeing what we can experience right now. There is a depth of experience of this particular moment that most of the time we are pretty much unconsciously ignoring, because we are trying to get somewhere, we are trying to reach something or become something that we don't feel we are right now. Or perhaps the opposite experience, trying to get rid of something or to let go of something. And really, just diving deeper into this moment is going to give us exactly what we want anyway. We can spend a long time trying to get somewhere and never quite reach that. It didn't really work too well for me, that there was always further to go. And what I began to find, I'd like to really invite you into, is to begin to recognize the depth of what's here right now, what it's possible to experience, and that this moment is our true nature, something that we can't actually grasp with it's not a tangible thing, this moment, is it? But everything is appearing in this moment, your body, your thoughts, and everything. And there's a real deep silence and peace. There's a real quietness and rest, a deep stopping that happens when we begin to dive into this moment. So if you feel the urge to just sink into this silence with me, then I invite you to just, for this moment, this time we're together, stop trying to get somewhere and stop trying to let go of anything in this moment. There's already a perfection that is you, that's here right now. And if we simply stop and take a look at where we actually are, then we can discover a depth of this moment that really is reality. But what we've been experiencing is a virtual reality where we think we need to get to based on where we think we are. But where we actually are, let's just stop and explore that for this moment we have together. There is a deep quietness when we stop trying to get somewhere. There is a rest and a wholeness and a completeness. There really is what we're trying to find anyway, with all our trying to get somewhereness. And just learning to open up and dive deeper into this moment, we can just let go of the assumption that what we're experiencing is all we can experience, and we can dive deeper into this. What is here right now? Just stop traveling for a moment and see what is actually here. And naturally we begin to operate as and like this moment itself, which simply allows everything to be in this moment. And if we have some thoughts arise, some urge to start moving again, start traveling again, it's okay. We can let that happen, let that arise. We're going to let what comes come. Let what goes go. We're not going to try to change anything or control anything. There is really nowhere to get to. And even if you could get there, it would be absolutely no different than what's available here now. Resting as this moment. Not being someone in this moment, just being this moment here with me. Enjoying the feeling of just stopping, relaxing. What if there is something right here, right now that we could experience? A deep, deep silence, a deep listening. And knowing that everything is really just moving how it needs to move against this background of this moment. It's never going to be any more perfect in the future than it is right now. And perfect doesn't mean a certain set of thoughts or the absence of any thoughts. It means just allowing whatever's moving through the mind, whatever's moving through the emotions, whatever's happening in your body to happen. Can we just rest here? Gently inviting the fullness of this moment to present itself. There isn't anything you need to become. There isn't anything that you need to let go of here. Allowing yourself to rest, to unwind, to slow down. You're not a work in progress. You are that which is here. Allowing this moment to be how it is the deepest expression of love. Not saying that anything should be different than it is. This place where nothing needs to change, where you don't need to change, where you are already whole and complete, already right where you want and need to be. You are this moment and everything arising and disappearing in it. You're vast, infinite, and you're also this human body and mind. And there is no struggle there. Just allowing them to be. offering no resistance to anything that comes or goes. What does it feel like to rest here with me as this moment? Knowing that our body and mind will continue to grow, to develop, to unfold in front of us. That there isn't anything we need to manage. We're not a process. Just allowing this moment as it is. Not trying to get rid of anything. Not trying to grab hold of anything either. You are that great space in which everything is coming and going. You are that effortless being. Enjoying the quietness, the rest. Enjoying not having a to-do list of spiritual things to achieve. Sinking deeper into and as this moment. The perfection that we're seeking is already here right now. And it is you. Just being that moment, being that love. It's already so. And you could never not be this. There is nothing for you to do. Inviting this deep quietness to pervade your body and mind if you want to. Inviting this love into our thoughts, into our emotions, into our whole being. Allowing it to rejuvenate, refresh. Just allowing this moment to be as it is, not fighting with anything that arises, whether there is lots of thoughts or none at all, makes no difference. Whether there is positive or negative emotion, makes no difference. Just let it be. There isn't anything you need to handle. You're just watching. Resting here with me. It's just the simplicity of this moment as it is right now. You are this moment, and you are this human being. And both are perfect, and you don't have to choose. Just be here. There's no particular way you should be. How you should be is how you are right now. Being this moment, eternally present now and always. Just stopping. There is nowhere you could travel to that would be better than this. Nothing that you could try to become that would match this. This moment in its fullness. This moment without any shoulds or shouldn'ts. You without any shoulds or shouldn'ts. Just as you are right now. This moment that you are is utterly, utterly quiet, peaceful, still. This is your natural self. Enjoying this moment. There's really nowhere to get to anyway. No place other than here. No time other than now. You are already the best version of you right now. Just inviting this moment, this love, this presence into your heart, into your mind, into your body. Just resting here with me. Nothing to do. Nothing to change. Nothing to become. The fullness of this moment is the fullness of you, the already perfect you, arising as all of these thoughts, emotions, experiences, states, the coming and going, happening inside you, but not to you. Just being this moment in which it's all coming and going by itself. Attention may drift off with thoughts. It's okay. Coming back to the quietness of this moment when you're ready. There's nothing to achieve. You're already anything that you could achieve. You are already every state of consciousness you could experience. You are every positive and negative emotion or thought. Just arising and falling away like waves, happening inside you this moment. There is room inside your being for everything that wants to arise. Just don't say, this should not be. And there'll be peace. Feeling the healing quietness pouring itself into every cell of your being. A wholeness and completion. surging through your body, the love, opening your heart and mind even more. And the peace, releasing old hurts. You are this moment. And this moment is forever. You are this human being also. You are nothing at all. You are someone. And there is no conflict here. There's just what is. So, in a few moments, we will bring this meditation, this formal meditation, to an end. But if you like this moment being here with me, I'd invite you to stay here forever. This doesn't have to be something you experience, something that comes and goes. It can be something you are, your unchanging self. More than just a resting place, but a total and complete stop. Thank you. Namaste. Okay, so we have some time if there are any questions. Is that your hand up there, Dawn? Yeah. Whenever you're ready.
Helen, I have a question on my heart. It was answered a little bit today by a golden nugget shared in the sanctuary today. However, I still have it on my heart. So how do we best approach, or what is the best way to look at a situation? For instance, my son, his philosophy as of late is nihilism. Life is meaningless. There is no God. There is no such thing as love.
Mm-hmm.
And my boyfriend,
quite opposite to what you're learning.
So, and then my boyfriend, he doesn't believe in God either. And yet here we are, we're living together. And it's so, how best to be with that? So it's more of inclusion, because I know in one of our sessions, you said not to look at another person as other.
Yeah.
So I know that's part of the problem. It's not helping. So how might I look at these beloved people in my life differently?
It's an interesting contrast, isn't it, to how you're choosing to experience yourself in this fuller way in this moment. And it really helps to see, if you can, to recognize that they are not, as you said, not other than you, even if that's just or only partially. It might be still some pushing against them, trying to change them going on because you would like them to have a better experience. And probably you're having a better experience than they are, which is because of your authenticity. You're being as authentic as you can in this moment. And the recognition that everyone is always being as authentic as they can, and that they're always experiencing something that's appropriate for their own growth, and that they are also the self playing with these belief structures, such as the nihilism, helps us to kind of accept that more in a way that they, only by choosing to experience this kind of belief system, the ups and downs of it, can they eventually ever come to choose that which is beyond any belief system. And that they are in the process of trying out these philosophies and beliefs, seeing how they fit, and really experiencing what they need to experience to come to what you're experiencing now. The self in its fullest nature doesn't try to control any particular moment or being. And where we find ourselves doing that, it's important to recognize that we're only doing that out of love, especially in this situation. Of course, if you've got a hold of a good thing, you're going to want somebody close to you to experience that, and you're perhaps not going to want them to experience that life is pointless and meaningless, and so, but recognizing what you really want for them is their own peace and inner happiness, and that they're experiencing that in this moment as much as they can already. Everybody is already experiencing that as much as they can in this moment, so their path may be a little further behind yours, but they're experiencing authentically what they can experience right now. And it's really only through going through all these beliefs that we eventually come to value that which doesn't have any belief. I don't know if that kind of helps you to. We've got to travel the road that we've got to travel, haven't we, to get to this point where we want to experience that which is beyond thoughts. Does that give you some practical thing to do?
Yeah. It feels very helpful.
Yeah. In recognizing what you want for them is what you want for them. There's nothing wrong with that too, isn't there? Good. Would anyone else like to ask any questions or to share anything in the time we have left? Is there anything else we can discuss that would be helpful? Everybody's too blessed out, huh? Would anyone like to share their experience of the meditation? Okay, we can just take a few moments. Okay, sorry, Jackie, sorry, whenever you're ready.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
How are you? Good. I was in the kitchen, I was working, and so and listening, and thought then I would, that I would stop and just join, like follow instructions. And so the experience, I guess I really don't have anything to share about the experience. I mean, it's just like it. There were certain words that were, and the one that comes to mind right now is that comfort. There is no comfort here. There just is. And it was like, well, that's just like an awareness of how, how my path or, where I've been. And I am nowhere. I think it would be fair to say, well, just not to compare would be fair, actually. But the comfort was like, well, that's all I'm really ever after, is comfort, like seeking safety or having the right words in play that allow me to leave myself alone, to let myself up. And that's, I suppose, if there was like, how did I experience that? That would be it, because that's what every part of that, from what I experience is there is nothing else. There's just right now. Now I have no real ability to go past that. When you invited at the end that we could all just join you there and stay in that has that's like very far. And I suppose, and I don't know what this is exactly that I want to say this, is that, my, by even the standards, or, in my judgment, by even these standards, those, and I have this idea that you spoke to that when you said, there is no, you didn't say it in these words, but there's no spiritual task that needs to be done, you know, something along those lines. And so then even in this community, I, you know, I would not get an award, but I have, you know, I'm pretty good, pretty diligent, pretty willing to be wrong, but willing to be right, or whatever, in relationship to, you know, trusting that however I am doing it, I am always, I don't know how to finish that exactly. You know, like being in the kitchen and listening instead
Yeah.
of, you know, putting time aside. You know, you know, it's not exactly a dedicated path in relationship to, you know, mine has always just been, I don't want to be, um, I don't want, I want to be happy, but putting that aside, I just don't want to be in pain. You know, I don't
Yeah.
want to be in that. So I haven't had, you know, a spiritual aspiration that necessarily um, matched everything that, you know, I don't know what I'm saying with that either, but I am, I'm really, I just really, I guess I'm just done talking. So
I love what
thank
you
you.
said though. It's the same for me. The whole drive behind this was to feel as good as I can, right? To not be in pain, to not um and the only reason for the resting as this moment is because it's the best way you can really feel the quietness and the peace and everything is. And I absolutely loved what you said. You said something, I might have got this wrong, but you said just leaving myself alone. I absolutely love that. Just leaving myself alone for, you know, that's just so beautiful, you know, just absolutely just even for a moment, being whatever you are in this moment without trying to change that or something, you know. I love that. That's really lovely. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to feel better, to wanting not to suffer. That's what brings us all here, isn't it? Really. I like to say at first it's some noble aspiration to recognize truth, but for myself it was that I just want to feel better than I feel right now, because what drives us all to the pathway is suffering, isn't it? Usually it's very rare anybody comes any other way, you know, and that's honest, that's honesty, and it's lovely. So thank you for sharing. Lovely. Thank you. Rhoda, whenever you're ready.
Thank you for the meditation. That was lovely. Before you came into the sanctuary, Helen Avery was kind enough to lead us through a statement process. And I've noticed this continuous pattern where resistance shows up. And while I am clear that the resistance shows up and, you know, embracing it, letting it heal, knowing that it's here for healing, and just knowing that it's okay that it's here, are all, for me at least at this point, the intellectual path to follow.
Yeah.
And what I noticed was as soon as we came out of the meditation, it felt as if the resistance had gone, and then within a nanosecond, there it was again. You know, and you feel it in your belly and it rises up through your chest, and
like this tension or something.
Yeah, this energy, just this tightness. And I am just noticing how often I am not able to, I am not, at least currently, consciously able to just accept resistance.
Yeah.
Any guidance you have, I'm open.
I think for me, something that was vital was to learn that acceptance and loving something doesn't necessarily mean liking it. And that there is a huge difference, that it's possible right as you are now, to accept that this is how my body feels, which perhaps we all know that we can do, or are we working on that skill, that this is what is in this moment. But also accepting that there might also be a desire for it to feel better or for it to go away, that is also part of what's arising in this moment that can be accepted. And a huge thing for me was to realize that both of those are just as valid, that I can accept it, it's here, but I don't have to like it. And also may have a desire for myself to feel better. And that is, it's not, I don't have to pick one or the other. I can accept this. For me, there is just this constant tension, this constant, like my body was just like this, somehow all the time. And I began to become really aware of it. There was this urge for it to disappear, but then I realized that is pushing against what is. So I began to include that into I was allowing this feeling in the body as much as I could. I was also allowing that something just didn't like it, didn't want it. That is something we can do too. And there might always be some part of you that doesn't like what is, that resists what is. And we can allow that to whatever degree we can too. We're not supposed to, as human beings, like pain. We're kind of always taught to go towards what feels better. And it just occurred to me the simplest way to do that was to accept that this thing is here, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. I can accept its existence, let it be here, but also have preference for it to leave in the next moment. And then you're not adding to that tension by pushing against this moment. There's a part of you that's not going to want it there, isn't there?
Yeah.
And who said that shouldn't be there? You can have this, yes, okay, I allow you to be this feeling. And you can also have this, no, I would like you to leave. And you don't have to pick one or the other. It was fundamental for me when I realized that. Because you're always going to be wanting to feel better, like we were just speaking about before. And that's okay, isn't it? We always prefer a better experience to a worse one.
Yes. So include, I guess.
Yeah.
Include.
And it's just the resistance and the desire for it to go are kind of one and the same thing, aren't they, in the end? That you can just allow to whatever extent that you can. And if that's not a lot, that's not a lot. But you'll feel authentic in whatever way you're allowing it or not in that moment. And most importantly, acceptance is not liking. That's the key, to recognize. I don't have to expect myself to, oh yeah, there's resistance today, yay, especially after you've felt this deep peace and quietness. And then you seem to come out of that and suddenly it's back, like you said. Of course, there's going to be something rises up in that moment that says, no, don't want this, don't want this. And it's totally possible to go, okay, you're here, but I'd rather you would go in the next moment, Does that help?
Yes, very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Good. It's very, very common. And it was fundamental to me when I learned, to just allow both of those. Lovely. Thank you. Okay, I think we'll probably best leave it there for tonight. Thank you very much, everyone.